quite a nice place to pick up, perhaps, because I'm going to go to the song that really inspired this whole class. I don't have a rhyme for this. I'm just ashamed. That's
Hmm.
a line that you'll obviously recognize. Do you want to tell people what song that's from and maybe what that song's about a little bit?
Yeah, so it's from our track from our last record called Gene, and it's about my friend Gene. When I lived in Kansas City a few years ago, I was in this like big punk house called the Rendezvous, and Gene was one of the people that lived there, but he was in the country illegally. I think he took his cousin's ID and was kind of, just immigrant story, trying to make it, trying to push the American dream. He got caught by ICE, and then they put him in solitary confinement for like 3 weeks, and then he ended up hanging himself in his cell. And I don't know, I was 20 years old back then, and like I very much burned all my bridges in Kansas City, and was just like, no one talked to me ever again. And I think the last thing I was talked to him about was like he owed me like $40, which now at 32, that's nothing. But back then, like that was, a monumental amount of money. I just had a lot of shame about that last interaction.
If I look at the rhyme as we go back to that conversation, it starts off with the year career engineer. It's got ring
Hmm.
sing things. I mean, I know
Hmm.
this is not traditional poetry. This is songwriting. But if we were
Hmm.
going to think about traditional poetry, that kind of triplet, that rhyming triplet, is quite rare. Is that in any way kind of indicative of anything?
So the original intent, I don't know if you noticed, it's a play on shoulda, coulda, woulda, which I don't know if y'all have that saying
Yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's literally I just wanted to he should have, he could have, he would have, especially being a southerner, like if someone's like making excuses why something didn't work or something failing, you just go, shoulda, coulda, woulda. So I wanted to start out with that. And then I realized there's not a fourth thing in that. So it kind of morphed into like, should I add another rhyme for shoulda, coulda, would have, or should I just leave it at that? So I was like, no, this feels like there's enough room to breathe. I think the pauses in it really amplify what I'm saying, especially it being the first things you hear of the song.
And then, of course, though, you have that real standout moment where you say, "I don't have a rhyme for this. I'm so ashamed." And
Hmm.
and as I've said already, that opened the doorway to my whole thinking about getting in touch with you and
Hmm.
asking you what you meant
Nice.
about that line. And really, I think in this moment you can really sum up perhaps your attitude towards rhyme and why you chose to make that statement.
Yeah, it really was like I was writing it and like I'm usually the type I write too much and have to cut stuff, but for Gene, I really didn't. I didn't want to leave anything on the cutting room floor for like a real life person that meant so much to me. So like I was like, and this is one of the ones that I worked on with Dan from the Wonder Years. He produced this record, and this is one of the ones we kind of sat down and like this would be better as this verse, or this would be better here. It was one of those things where like I just don't know what to put. Like I have this placeholder, and he was like, just keep that. That's honest. Like, and I was like, are you sure? Like, and it's like, yeah, like it's honest, it's real, and like just sometimes you just don't know what to say. Like it's very much a real conversation, and where you pause and have hiccups and you're just at a loss for words. So I want to really convey that I really was at a loss for words at that point in the song.